Welcome back to Off Guard. I'm your host, Austin Rivers, along with my guy, Pausha Haghighi. As always, we are back, but Off Guard's a little bit different now. We are on NBC Sports. Very excited for this new collaboration. Big year ahead in the basketball world. A lot of changes. We have been quiet over the past few weeks, kind of just ready, gearing up for this season to be here. And now that it's here, quickly as it comes, every summer it seems like, we're excited to get going. Pausha, how are we doing, man?
I'm doing great. So if you've been listening to our pod or following Austin on Instagram or anything, you would know that you're going to be with NBC this year,
Yes.
covering the NBA. I want to talk to you about, it looked like kind of a first day of school vibes. I saw you kind of went over there and did a photo shoot, a media day with NBC and all your new colleagues. How did that go?
It was actually a lot of fun, man. We went up to NBC headquarters. It's up in like the Connecticut area, Stamford, if you want to call it that. And beautiful campus. Got to meet all my colleagues, people I'm going to be working with, calling games with this year. First year doing color commentary. Be calling games with a lot of guys this year. And, the roster, what we have, I think is second to none. When you look at all of the platforms of everybody else and where you can listen to your games at, Vince Carter, myself, Tracy McGrady, Grant Hill, Reggie Miller, Carmelo Anthony, Derek Fisher, there's Jamal Crawford.
Right.
I feel like this roster could go give us, I don't know if we could win 30 games because we're all old and out of shape, but we could win some games in the NBA. I'm almost positive.
You can win a quarter.
Especially if Melo still looked like he was, if we get like 30% or 40% of Melo, we should be all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we had a blast up there in Connecticut. And yeah, man, I'm really excited for this year. It's a lot of changes for me personally, just from the past few years, more so just being centered around just being retired and having a pod, to where now I'm in full-fledged work mode, flying out just about every week to call these games. And then obviously twice a week we have this beautiful pod that you guys will be listening to. And then my Eye for the Game show, which is also on NBC, and will be able to be available on YouTube, Peacock, other things. So very excited. A lot of work.
I feel like it's tricky for you. We talked about this before on the pod, but we can cover it a little bit. Retiring from the NBA at such a young age, right? Obviously, you feel really good. It's not like the day you stop playing basketball and then you just feel retired. I think there was a couple of years there where it's a transition period. This, I think, it feels, just being your friend, working with you, this feels like this is your first real, okay, my basketball career is behind me. Now I'm really diving in. Yeah.
Correct.
Your approach just feels different.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
I do feel this is the first year where I've been like, okay, I actually have this is work. I have to organize, and I'm hiring an assistant right now, and I'm in the process of doing all these different things I didn't have to do. People have this assumption for basketball players that we're the busiest people in the world. Although that could be true in some regards, especially during the season, our only job is centered around just playing basketball. So all you have to do is go to the gym, and then everything else is pretty much tailor-made, for you to streamline life as easy as possible. Once that ends, you have to be an adult and find things to do to pass your time. Listen, I'll be honest with you. You realize it's not about the money. When you retire, if you're fortunate to have made good money and saved any of it during your playing career, hopefully, you go through those first years, like you said, where you're just like, man, I just want to enjoy my time. Want to be with my family. I've been traveling so much. That lasts for like 4 or 5 months. And then at some point as a man, you're just like, well, what am I doing?
Right.
What's my purpose? What am I going to do now? What else can I be great at? I was great enough to make the NBA and play over a decade. Can I challenge myself to something and achieve such things in another genre? For me, media and talking the game seemed very, aligned. And that's something I wanted to get into. I saw my father get into it. I've seen other former players get into it and see where that's led, whether it's, JJ did it and got into coaching. Other guys got in and continue to climb the media ranks. We'll see as time goes on. But, yeah, it felt natural, and it's nice to be working again. It's nice to have a schedule and have a bunch of flights and be on the road again. Obviously, it's not as much as a player, so that's great. So I still get to be home, be a dad. But, yeah, man, I'm ready to get out there. Very excited to call the games, and very excited to have, again, this show now on even a more major of a platform for people to have access to, and to have video this year so people can watch this instead of just only being able to listen is really cool as well. So very excited for all that.
Does it feel kind of like when you were 19 years old starting with the Hornets again?
Hopefully not.
The beginning of a career.
Hopefully not. Didn't feel good there. Never felt good there. My days in New Orleans were dark Halloween lasted. How long was that there? Yeah, it was. So hopefully not. This is my first day in LA. Let's put it. Let's fast forward to that, or first day at Duke, or something like that. The in between. That in between didn't happen. Yeah, it does. It does. Learning curves. Trying to make it look as seamless as possible, as if I've been here forever doing this stuff. That's definitely when I'm on TV. There's like all these little things where, position, sitting up, talk. That type of stuff you have to try to get through as quick as possible. I don't have years of experience like these other guys. So that's what's against me. What I have is my know-how of basketball. I hang it on what I know. And don't overcomplicate things is what I always try to tell myself. Anytime I'm in a situation of second-guessing myself, don't overcomplicate it. Just trust yourself. You've been here before. You've talked about basketball a million times. Every time I turn on the TV and I put on a game and I'm on my couch, that's what I try to channel when I'm going to be calling these games. And I don't want to just call them to get by. I want to call them and give people a good product. I want people to be excited when the game's on. I'm like, oh, Austin's calling it. That's hopefully where I could get to. So,
has your dad give you any advice?
He said just feel as natural as possible. I've even talked to guys like people, mutual friends between JJ and myself, and JJ used to just, how do you prepare for it? He's like, you don't. He's like, you just go do it. He's like, I don't really know how to explain it. I asked him when I was in New York, I said, did you prepare like over the top for these games? Because I did my due diligence in terms of knowledge. So I knew everything, both teams, both players. But in terms of the actual commentating, like trying to practice it, you could try, but it's not going to emulate anything like it is.
It's not like there's a punchline that you're going to try to squeeze into the game.
He's like, just go talk and have fun. Because you'll get more and more comfortable. By quarter two, he's like, you'll just be natural at it. That's how it kind of felt last year when I was doing those college games. So I'm really excited to do these games this year. We also have a new platform and how we're calling the games and where I'll be seated versus like your traditional booth where all three commentators, you got play-by-play and the two color guys just sitting around center court. NBC's got a couple new ideas. So it's going to be a lot of challenges, but I look forward to it. So very excited.
One thing you told me when you met with everybody for the media day shoot that you guys did was we always kind of joke around, we make little jokes. I don't know how serious we are, but we're always saying if you played in the 80s or a different era, like you give these guys buckets. And then you told me, hey, man, I actually was hanging out with Reggie Miller and some of these guys. You were like, these guys are bigger than I thought.
There's this, it's very popular amongst today's culture, is people get on their Instagram and on their phone and they'll like look at 80s and 90s highlights and be like, bro, these are 2000s players would average 50. I've been someone who's done that before.
Yeah. A couple glasses of wine, you started.
couple glasses of wine. I've looked at some 70s highlights, and I've talked trash to my dad. I'm like, Dad, let me tell you something. I'd give you 42 points if I played in your era. And I believe that.
Well, your dad hung his hat on defense.
Yeah.
You were more of an offensive guy until later on in your
career. I
still
think if you took, which is not fair, you can't use, I think, evolution. I always say this. You can't use evolution against people's pastime. Like, I can't take the development of the game and use it against guys that didn't know a Euro step was available. You know what I mean? Right. Like, if I would have did a Euro step on my dad, he would have looked at the ref and be like, travel. It's not because he isn't that smart. It's just that wasn't available. The moves weren't there yet.
Yeah.
The game hadn't evolved to where it has now. It's just simple common sense. But so to that regard, yes, I think he would have a tough time guarding me. I'd just be doing things and moves that like they didn't do back then. Iverson came out with a right to left and the whole world was like, whoa. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Michael got hit with it twice. You know what I'm saying? Like I would come down and hit him with something. Michael would be like, yo.
But what if he was hand checking you? You'd be looking at the ref for a foul the whole time.
True, but those guys, yeah, I'm still averaging. I'm putting up numbers in those areas.
Oh, he's still doing it.
Yeah, I'm going right back to it. Because the more I think about it, I'm just like, bro, none of them guys could guard me. With that being said, I was there in Connecticut, and I'm standing next to Reggie Miller. I'm like, this dude is a full-on 6'6", just sharpshooter, just coming off a screen, like dirty screen too. In like the early 2000s, 90s, just getting checked, and Reggie's just scot-free. I couldn't imagine guarding him. I know those guys would still do damage in today's era. I struggled guarding Rip Hamilton as a rookie. Rip Hamilton's a forgotten player who's a fantastic hooper.
Well, a player like Rip Hamilton doesn't really exist in today's NBA, right?
Yeah, exactly. That player, Floppy.
Yeah.
That people used to come down and be like, Floppy. Everybody knew it was coming. You just come off a screen and shoot. The offenses now are just so different. The way the game is played, how up and down it is. Those type of sets don't really exist. So, But I struggled simply guarding him or JJ. JJ used to be the worst to guard because he's never not moving. So someone like Reggie would fare fine in today's era, especially on the right team and situation. 6'6", one of the greatest shooters of all time. But I'm standing next to Vince Carter and Grant Hill. I'm like, man, these dudes are huge. Again, these guys weren't point guards, shooting guards like myself, but Reggie was for that matter.
Yeah.
That just era was just like they're just grown men, bro. It's just a little different. Yeah. I look at today's NBA, and again, I'm not saying today's NBA is wrong. It's just very young. It's all these young kids. They're all 6'8", long, like wing projects. Back then, these were like just,
absolutely,
just grown men. And to sit there and be a fly in the wall and just listen to these guys banter and argue and talk, trash to each other. I was just sitting there the whole time like, this is unbelievable.
And every time I've ever been around like Grant Hill, for example, he's just the most impressive, just polished.
I left NBC there, and I looked at the sky when I walked out of the NBC headquarters for about a cool 10 minutes, and I said, God, I need to do more. I hung around Grant Hill for like 20 minutes. I was like, this guy is just, he's got it all. He's got ownership and multiple sports teams. He's obviously amassed a fortune. But more importantly, his respect, his degree of which, when you look at him, how people treat him, how well he's able to convey himself to anybody, everyone in the room. He's polished. He's just got the whole 9 yards, right. Man. You kind of like are around a guy like him. Even like Carmelo, who's very smart, and some of these guys are like, man, it's bigger than just basketball. They've taken it off the court. They were talking ownership. There was like a 45-minute conversation where those guys were talking about like ownership and teams. I'm just sitting there listening.
You're 33 years old.
I'm just like, I am a lot younger than these guys, but I'm just like listening. That's a part of working with these guys. That's the great thing, is like I get to listen and learn from these dudes who are older than me and have had these experiences. So, and I also come from a different era that they're not really like keen to. Melo is because he has a son, who plays in this era, so he is. But like a lot of these other guys, like didn't play in my era.
Right.
You know what I mean? I followed them, and it's kind of like what we're getting to watch now. So, it's different.
That kind of reminds me of the same way a good coaching staff has guys from the different era and kind of younger current guys too.
We talked about it for a long time. Carlisle has adjusted well with the times. He's got new aged coaches on his staff, and his offense has evolved. If you think the Pacers run the same exact offense that they did with Dirk Nowitzki, who used to have to take their time to get him down the floor because he wasn't a fast-paced player. Yeah. It's just the complete opposite now with Halliburton. That tells you range as a coach. Very impressive. Yeah. I don't know if Carlisle's a fan of me, though. I had heard that. I'm one of the few guys he doesn't want on his bench this year.
Really?
That's a rumor.
Do you want to address that right now on the pod?
Rick,
we've always said great things about you on this podcast.
I've never ever said one thing. I've only ever been positive about you, Rick. Yeah. I don't think you look like Jim Carrey. I don't think you look. The rumors about you taping your ankles before the game, all these things. I don't know about any of that. What I do know is I've always had respect for you, and I've always thought you were a fantastic coach, and I've always given you your proper flowers. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's true or not. It's just what a little bee, a little bird, whatever you want to call it, told me. I'm just like, it can't be the Halliburton take, because I apologize for that 100 times.
1,000 times.
And I never said
point, come on.
And I never said, yeah.
Also, why can't, we talked about this before. We'll do it again for a minute. Why can't people change if Halliburton was playing bad, why can't you say he's playing bad? Now that he's playing good, people are like, look what Austin said. Well, now he's playing good. Now I'm saying different things. I'm allowed to adjust my analysis. Like
we can't have a podcast, ladies and gentlemen, twice a week, and then I have to hang my hat on every single thing I say. There are things that change, as in everything in life, but especially during an NBA season. I said I would have taken LaMelo Ball over Halliburton. That's all I said, by the way. I didn't say Halliburton sucked or anything like that. I just said I'd take LaMelo Ball over Halliburton. At the time, this is early in the season last year, Halliburton was struggling. He was not off to a great start.
Right.
On the contrary, LaMelo was off to an amazing start. He's having like 40 and 40 and 40. His team wasn't performing at the highest level, but his team wasn't good.
Right.
So we were strictly going off player for player. And that's when I was like, bro, you put this LaMelo on a Pacers offense with Carlisle as the coach. I thought just, sky's the limit. Now, LaMelo's still a fantastic player and talent. Get that. But as the season went on, especially after All-Star break, the gear that Halliburton was able to turn to, the playoff stretch, he no doubt made my takes spoil and age like milk.
Right.
Which I then was like, if I had that same question asked to me now, no way. I'm taking Halliburton.
Well,
Obviously,
you didn't know he was gonna have 5 game winners in one single playoff run. Like, it's,
correct. So opinions change, guys.
Yeah.
And I was wrong about that. And I came out 5 times on our pod talking about how I would take Halliburton and how my opinions changed, blah, blah, blah. So again, if that's not what it is, I don't know what it is. Or maybe we got our own thing that we got to hash out. I'll see him when I see him. It's a small league. It's a big high school, man.
Yeah.
And everyone talks. So I like to have my respect and I like to have my relationships with everybody. So when I heard that, I was a little hurt.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'll see him down the road.
Getting into this season, well, let's cover the offseason because we haven't really got to do that on this pod too much. We haven't had a pod in a little while. Well, the biggest story probably would be the Kawhi Leonard, Steve Ballmer stuff.
For sure.
You think that dominated
That dominated the summer.
Yeah.
The intricacies within that, how it worked, what can be proven, what can't be, where'd the money come from, can they trace it back to Ballmer? It was a company planting tree. The whole thing is nuts for Kawhi. The example that will be used is what everyone's kind of waiting on. How will he be?
But do you think other players in the NBA care and want to see the outcome of this?
Absolutely. I don't think other players care about more so Kawhi getting any type of money. It's more so a team being able to do that is what people care about. Because if that's the case, then we might as well just have no cap. And then everybody can just pay whatever you want. If you're just going to create companies or whatever, non-profit charity things where you're putting a lump sum of money for a player to have access to, at that point, we might as well just have baseball. It's just baseball, this thing.
Yeah.
So that's the problem I think people have. It's like, well, wait, I only make this one. He's able to get an extra $30 million because that's not fair. That's what I think people care
Especially
about.
when it's the richest owner by far. That was it. That was when I was there.
Not so much Kawhi making a certain amount of money. I don't think players are pocket watching other players. I think it's just the outlook of what they're doing is like, that's cheating.
Right.
It's just what it is.
Yeah.
So now, can it be proven to a point where Ballmer gets, loses picks for 5 years or gets a I don't even know what that fine would look like. It'd probably be something sick.
I'm sure you can afford it. It's fine.
That's the problem either. It's going to be a slap on the wrist to him. The picks could set them back. You get 5 years, no picks. That could be very detrimental.
They already don't have a lot of picks. So.
They don't have a lot of picks. Yeah. We're talking about a team whose average age is 34.
Yeah.
I belong in that team.
Average age is older than you.
Yeah, the average age, oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's the actual average age, but
right.
they're older though.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
But as a player, do you think they feel a cloud over their season? Like, do you think that's in and out of in training camp and preseason
it's
so far?
It's so owner related.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, Ty Lue came like, okay, listen, guys, there's an investigation going on our team. It has nothing to do with anybody in this room.
Yeah.
And all the players will play this year, and all the coaches are going to coach. So all that other stuff is outside of us. He's already built our arena. We got our practice facility. We got everything we need. Now, where the franchise goes with this as a penalty for the next 10 years, ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Half of y'all in this room ain't going to be here.
Yeah.
So
this is Chris Paul's last season. There's a lot of guys. James Harden, who I keep thinking it's going to be his last good season, but he keeps getting.
Yeah.
It's
like a glooming cloud of something that won't affect anybody there. Right. I don't think should have an issue in the team. I remember my last year playing the Clippers. I didn't know it was my last year playing the Clippers, but they were announcing our new team plane, our new team arena that they were going to build. Ballmer was, and we were all hyped. We're like, oh my God, this arena looks sick. We're like, when's it going to be done? Like 2024. We're like, mind you, it's like 2016. We're all like, it's like 8 years from now, Steve. The only one that might be here is Blake.
Yeah.
Blake's like, I'm not going to be here. Nobody was there at like 3 years later. So. Yeah, I don't think this is going to affect their team right now, no. And they do have a good team on paper. They're a team that a lot of people are slept on about. They had some key add-ons this year that were slept on due to their maybe performance at their previous places, but are good players. John Collins isn't a name that screams a lot of excitement. John Collins is a really good basketball player.
Right.
He's been proven that when on a good team, he can actually be very serviceable like he was with the Hawks, right? So he's in Utah the past couple of years. They weren't a competitive team, kind of just float away.
When you're a team trying to lose and you're playing well, it's hard to gauge.
No one
exactly
cares.
How good the guy
no
is.
one cares. And B, every good game or numbers you put up are skewed. due to the fact that like somebody has to put up numbers on a team like that, and like you're playing meaningless games. It's different when there's pressure, and you have a role, and you have a good backup behind you, and you only have your amount of minutes, and you have to perform. That's a whole different thing from just being one of the few good players in a bad team. You're like, all right, I'll play 37 minutes a night. I'll go put up something.
Yeah.
Two different things. Now he's on a team where he's slotted. He's next to Zubac. He's got a bunch of players around him that are very talented. Brad Beal, a guy who hasn't really panned out the past few years in Phoenix, didn't fit well there. Now he's got a new role again. You know what I mean? Can he adjust here? He's still Brad Beal. I'm one of the people just think like Brad Beal lost his talent. I still think Brad Beal's a guy in the league that can give you 20 a game. Now, I'm not saying they need him on this team to do that. I still think he has that type of capability.
Yeah.
So, although I don't think he's going to average those numbers this year just due to the, how many players they have.
Team, they don't need to. This
exactly.
isn't the thing where Phoenix was like, we need the missing piece. Brad Beal come in.
That's the thing. It's like, Brad, if you can get if they can get like 10 to 12 off the bench, or if he's starting, whatever the case may be with Brad, that's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have him. They have John Collins. They've added these type of players to where they're pretty dangerous when you look
on a
on
guy like Brook Lopez. They just have a bunch of different.
Again, another castaway. So it's like they've grabbed some good players under the radar to amass to this like really good team on paper. We'll see how it pans out.
Yeah. Another storyline that's actually been it's kind of been more in the news recently is Giannis. Obviously, you know the situation pretty well because of your pops and everything like that, but dude, that has to feel like more of a cloud for the players because him saying, yeah, I'm locked in, but why did he have to say that second part? But in 5 or 6 months, if I change my mind, I'm human. Couldn't we have just gone without that one part? Like, just why did you even have that? That's like being in a relationship and someone's like, no, I am so loyal to you, but in 6 months, it's okay if I change my mind. Like, you can't fault me. Like, that'd
be a crazy thing to hear.
It really would.
It's tough. I don't think people give Giannis any slack on that regard because he's been there for so long. He's held it down.
Yeah.
He's got them a ring already. So, box check. He's kind of done his time. To the point where if Giannis did leave, I don't think anybody in Milwaukee would have a sour thing to say about him. They'd be like, yeah, we had this dude from Greece live in Milwaukee for over a decade and be dedicated to us and never threaten to leave until his team wasn't that competitive anymore, to the point where we can't. How many more years of his prime do we have left? I can't blame him for wanting to leave. We'll see what their team is. I'm not saying they're not competitive yet. We got to see what this roster looks like, or what they're able to do. We know what it looks like. I guess we have to see how they're able to perform.
We saw how he plays with the stretch big with Brook Lopez these last years. Miles Turner comes in.
Good plug and play. A younger version of Brook right there. Great add-on. Great sign. They lost a lot with Damian. That mix didn't really coexist the way we wanted to anyway, but just the overall like guard aspect, we're relying a lot on KPJ. They're relying a lot on him and some of these other younger guards that they have. So Giannis is going to have a dominant season. The East is wide open. Do I think Milwaukee's roster is fit to go compete against a New York or Cleveland? I don't know. I don't know if the depth's there from that point. We'll see, man. Right. But Giannis it's his team again. The ball's going to be in his hands again. Last year, he had to take a little step back with that. His numbers were still all on par, but like it was different with Damian out there. Now, with him being a dominant ball handler again, we'll see how that works.
Right. And I feel like if you have the best player in the conference by far in a wide open East, they are probably at least going into the season.
That's the thing. Yeah. They're like, yo, listen, by default, we're like a 4th, 5th seed, guys. Okay. All right, it's we see Cleveland and New York at the top. Next to us, they're probably thinking is Orlando and Atlanta. This is where we can be right here.
Yeah.
All right. This is our mix. And at that point, as we saw in Indiana, a team could be an injury or 1 or 2 away from things changing. We get to the playoffs and something funky happens.
Right. What was it? Indiana had the 17th best odds to win the championship.
Here they were in the finals in a game 7.
Right.
Halliburton doesn't go down. They can have a ring. Yeah. So it's like, you give yourself a shot, and you just don't know. Those years that the Mavs won with Dirk, they didn't go into the season like, we're winning. You don't know. You just play, and then next thing you know, you find yourself in a situation where it's the second round, and you're going against New York, and then this guy goes down, and next thing you know, we're looking at each other like, we could do this. We're here. You know what I mean? So, like, The NBA is like that. These guys are all talented. Kevin Porter Jr. is not some scrub. You know what I mean? Gary Trent, Giannis, Miles Turner, even AJ Green, They have some talented basketball players on this team. Now, is this roster scream championship? No, because the other ones that we'll say have these guys.
Yeah.
But you just don't know. So we'll see how it goes. Where Giannis will be in the future, I don't know. Like you said, how I feel in 6 months. I think he's just not trying to set him up to.
Like what happened with Kyrie when he told the Celtics,
Correct.
I'm coming back. And they hung on to that.
Correct.
When he it was,
Correct. That's all that is.
Right.
I think Kyrie's like, I'm going to be back here. And then he left. Everyone's like, you're a liar.
Right.
I think he's just like, yo, I've been in Milwaukee for over a decade, man. I love it here. I'm going to be here in the foreseeable future. It's 6-7 months, man. If this thing's gone to shit, y'all can't be mad at me for wanting to change my mind. I think that's what he's saying.
And by the way, getting one title in this era where there's been a new champion for the last 7 years or whatever it's been, like Jokic has one. He's been the best player in the NBA for the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. Nikola Jokic has been the best basketball player for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
And has won championship. So he's done his time in Milwaukee. Right now he's still there. They still have their roster. His brother's back on the team. They made sure they signed him back. Everything's kind of headed that way. So we'll see.
Another big storyline, or a team that was just in the news a lot, I feel like, this summer, because Şengün was in Eurobasket. KD, that's a big acquisition, obviously one of the biggest ones of this season, if not of the offseason, if not the biggest. And then Fred VanVleet going down with an injury. The Rockets were just in the news a lot. Everyone's really high on Amen Thompson. Do you see them being a real threat in the West?
Absolutely.
Yeah, even with Fred being out for the season.
Absolutely.
Is it Reed Shepherd time, or are you running it through Şengün?
I'm putting the Thompson at the point guard position. Here's where it gets difficult. You put Fred was so essential to the team because of his experience, his pace. And I say pace not because he's up and down all the time. He's able to kind of just slow down and get that young team in control. Not to mention KD ain't the type he ain't going to want to be sprinting down every single time. But he provides shooting, spacing on the floor. He's a knockdown from three. Reed Shepherd is a knockdown from three. That's why he's going to have to play. I love the Thompson twin. He's a extreme talent, superstar talent. He's not a dead-eye shooter yet. So in terms of spacing on the floor with Şengün, Kevin Durant, and then your point guard's not a non-shooting point guard, it just creates new challenges. Now, Kevin should be used to this. The bulk of his prime was played with a non-shooting point guard. He played with Russell Westbrook.
Right.
So there's a lot of similarities when you just look at freak athlete, attack mode, up and down from Thompson, in my opinion, Westbrook. I do think there's similarities there. So he's used to that, knows how to play with it. He's played with every system possible. Kevin Durant's a mercenary for hire at this point, at his age especially. But we'll see. I think Houston has this roster that's well put together. They're well coached. They did lose a lot with Fred. But this could provide an opportunity for someone, like you said, Reed Shepherd.
I mean, you drafted him third. He's not unavailable in any trade talk, it seems like, right over the summer.
That's the thing. He was drafted third.
Yeah.
We got to see this boy play. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then when you see him in a G League game or a summer league game,
like
he's lighting it up.
Yeah,
like, but he can't play in the NBA.
He had a weird G League this year. I'm sorry, summer league. He had a weird summer league this year. I do believe he was up and down. A lot of that probably was him just like, I don't even want to be here.
Right.
Coming back, we talked about that. Coming back to your second summer league, it's like you want to play 2 games, dominate, and then be like, all right, you're out of here.
Yeah.
He was out there for a while. You know what I mean? It just gets weird.
Well, you got to imagine mentally for him. Last year when he got drafted, when the GMs did their survey, I think he had the most votes for Rookie of the Year. Barely played all year in a weak draft. So mentally, he's probably hearing, everyone thinks I'm good. The GMs think I'm good. I'm not playing for this team. Now Fred's gone.
It's tough.
Yeah.
He was drafted to a team that ended up being second.
You were
in
drafted
the West.
10th, and you're like, wait, you drafted me 10th. Why am I not getting more opportunities as well?
Correct.
Right.
I was drafted number 10, and my minutes were up and down. And I'm looking at money like, why am I here?
Yeah.
You clearly don't want to play me.
Yeah.
I'm sure Reed Shepherd, as the number 3 pick in the draft, is like, what's going on? It was tough to complain. The difference is I was on one of the worst teams in the league. Last year, they finished second in the West. So I know he was just like, man, this team's really good. You know what I mean? Like this team. And then they get Kevin. Like, oh, they're trying to win now.
Right.
So this year is going to be Reed Shepherd's rookie year. Not in actuality, guys. I understand this. But in playing time, in experience, it'll be a rookie year for him.
It's kind of one of those quarterbacks. I think we mentioned this before, that sometimes they get drafted but don't play for a whole year, and then they come in their next year. It's really their rookie year.
It's weird in the NFL they do that.
Yeah.
They'll draft like a top-level quarterback, start a quarterback they know they're not futures with, just for it to go wrong and them to be like, all right, he's playing bad. Get him in there.
Yeah.
It's like the thing they do.
Jackson Dart of the Giants, he got
they're awaiting one game for Russell to just have, and they're going to be like, Dart. And then he went in there and won that game, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Russell's like, this is gone. You know what I mean? So that's how it works in football. Basketball, you usually don't see that. Top picks usually play. You know, that's just how it works, especially top 5. It's very rare, even on a good team. If you're a top 5 pick, a guy comes in like doesn't play a lot. You've only seen a few lottery picks within the past couple of years of guys get drafted, whether it's a Kuminga. That's been another story this whole year.
Actually, that's a big story of the year.
Yeah, Kuminga has been an issue. Or not, he hasn't been an issue.
Talk about a guy that's really hard to gauge how good he is. Is he a guy that could put up big numbers on a bad team? Like if he was on the Bulls right now, would he just be?
If Jonathan Kuminga was on the Bulls, he'd average 22 to 25 points a game.
So you are a Kuminga believer.
100%.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's going to translate to winning. I'm not saying people are going to love playing with him, and I'm not saying they wouldn't. These are questions that haven't been answered yet.
Yeah.
His talent is undeniable, guys. He's a 6'8" freak athlete who pops off the floor, and he's score hungry. Every time he gets in the game, this guy is going to score. He didn't play a lot last year in the playoffs. They randomly brought him off the bench, and he had 30 in the middle of a playoff game.
Right.
He's just like, and he don't even like his coach.
Well, it's weird because Kerr had that thing with Tatum during the Dream Team, Olympic stuff, and then now with Kuminga, it's like, is there a certain type of player that Kerr has a hard time kind of fitting into? I'm not really. The Tatum stuff was, that one was. I felt like that one dragged out into the season. They didn't like dap each other up or whatever.
Well, yeah, that was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, Tatum felt a way about that because he's like, you don't tell me you don't need my position because I see Devin and Ant playing 20 minutes a night.
Right.
So you clearly think they're better than me, considering I've done more than them combined.
Yeah.
In my career, which he has. You could combine Devin and Ant's accolades, and they don't meet anything towards JT's.
Yeah.
So but then he's on the Olympics and on the bench like, I just won the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was the best player on the team. They gave it to Jaylen Brown. And I love Jaylen Brown. I love JB. JB's not better than Tatum, and he shouldn't have won the Finals MVP over Tatum. And I've said that a million times. I don't think he should have won the Conference Finals MVP.
Well, we talked about this. They probably gave him the conference one thing, and the finals one will just.
I thought they were going to set him up, and then they gave it to Jaylen Brown, and we're all like, "This isn't right." Yeah. There's a reason why no one felt right about that. Still to this day, it's like just a thing that's uncomfortable to talk about. It's like Celtics won. Like they gave Jaylen Brown the Finals MVP. Tatum led him in every statistical category that was major. It's like, what are we doing here? Just give it to the best. Just make this simple, NBA.
Yeah,
that's more of whoever's voting.
And by the way, while we're on the subject of Jason Tatum, let's just get this out of the way. I see a lot of buzz about him. The quickest Achilles recovery of all time. I already saw a video of him dunking.
Yeah.
If you're the Celtics,
slow down.
Why would you even want him to play this year? You guys have lost everybody. You're probably not. I know the East is wide open. You're probably not in contention, right? You lost Drew, Porzingis, Al Horford. You lost all these guys. You're probably not. Why would you rush your franchise guy in the prime of his life back early? I don't have a crystal ball. Yeah.
And I'm not able to read the future well. I could have never, in the realm of anything, predicted the Celtics would be where they're at right now.
Yeah.
3 years ago, I was like, this team is just going to dominate the NBA. They have the perfect team. The way the ball flew around the perimeter, the ball movement, everybody could shoot. Everybody shot 40 above three. Everybody's bomb. I was like,
the worst starter was like Drew Holiday, man. He's an Olympian.
Yeah, I was like, everybody's like, this team is going nowhere.
Yeah.
And then within a few years, obviously you can't pay everybody. Again, like we said before, that old cap, it'll do something to a team, won't it? Right. If there was no cap, then Boston and teams like this would be good forever. The Lakers would never lose. They just get everybody.
Right.
Everybody go to LA and get paid whatever. Or the Clippers, the other owner, the real money.
Yeah, just plant some trees and I'm just
kidding. But yeah, and now they're in a situation where like I watched the game they played in last night. I didn't understand what I was watching. I was like, who are these dudes? Yeah. I know every player on the floor, but it's just not the same team that was dominating the NBA the past couple of years. So will be very interesting. Hey, did you see Wendell Moore's dunk?
Oh my God.
The was that? Bro,
that was your old teammate.
I played with Wendell. No, not like that. I played with Wendell for a full year in Minnesota. He went to Duke. I'm very familiar with Wendell. What the was that?
Well, his usage rate hasn't been high the last couple of years. Those are fresh legs.
That dude bounced off the floor. That was one of the dunks of the year. Unbelievable.
And Furphy from the Pacers. Every time I go on Twitter.
He just punches on everyone. He gets to that 1 foot. I mean, he can jump off 2 feet. But if he gets
you can tell by the Pacers bench, they're not even like surprised. They must have
seen
when
they see him going towards the basket, when you ever see, just for any player listening to this possibly, if you're ever on a fast break as a defender, and the offensive player is dribbling towards the basket, and you're meeting him at the basket, if in your peripheral you see his bench rise and stand up, do not jump. If everybody in the gym starts to stand up because this guy's dribbling towards the basket, don't jump.
Yeah.
Either foul or get out the way. You will be punched on unless you got some own hops of yourself. But otherwise, every time he drives to the basket, you see the Pacers bench like rise up like he's going to do something funky, and he does every time. He just puts that ball back here and just, I don't know who that is. Who is that guy?
Furphy, man. He's I think he's Australian with the Kansas. Yeah.
Can he shoot?
I've only ever seen him dunk.
If you put a jumper on him, if you put a jumper on that guy,
yeah.
That's the NBA dream right there. Freak athlete, 3-and-D. If he can defend, shoot the three, then he's athletic like that.
Yeah.
Little Caucasian skin to mix it up.
Right. You're trying to market the guy now.
Brandon.
You see the whole thing, just marketing manager.
Oh my God. Yeah. No. Yeah. This year has been the past couple of years has been a giant mix-up. We had from the Celtics being a premier team to
well, now you see OKC and it looks like they're set up to never be bad again.
The difference is they have guys. They have a handful of guys that they'll run into similar issues though. Can't pay everybody. Like someone's gonna have to grab Case and Wallace. Someone's gonna grab Wiggins.
Yeah.
These guys aren't gonna be there forever. You can't just keep them as an 8th or 9th guy, Presty. Eventually these guys are gonna be like, yo, I'd start on most teams.
For sure.
Which is factual. They are like 10 deep.
Yeah. And if you're like a guy like, let's say, Case and Wallace, and you won your title in this role, you're totally cool getting a bag and going and going somewhere else and being featured.
I'll drive right down to Charlotte. If I've won a ring already and I've played my role to a T and then this team wants to overpay me $80 million, I'm gone. If I'm Case and Wallace and I just saw Nickeil Alexander get 65 for the Atlanta Hawks, I'm sitting here like, where are we going with this? I'm going to play my role one more year in a contract year.
Yeah.
To a T.
I'm going to be a model citizen.
Shut up, say what I need to say when I need to. Come to practice early, work hard, play my role. Some games I'll play a lot, some games I'll play. I will get paid next summer, and he will. Because this team is going to be right back in the show. They're going to be right there, second, third round of the playoffs, fighting for it.
And it might be one of those things, too, where teams look at, it used to be like with the Spurs back in the day, where if a player came from that franchise, you almost like trusted them. They came from that tree.
You get tagged.
Right. So I think OKC kind of has a similar thing going on too.
They're the new system.
Yeah.
To where if you come out of there, you're considered a good guy.
Right.
It's like if a player, it was a great point, came from San Antonio, you knew you're just getting quality.
Yeah.
This is a good dude. He's going to be professional because you can't.
Same with coaches too. Like the coaching.
Miami for a time period had that as well.
Right.
Now it's almost too much to the point where players don't want to go there. They have. We'll get to Miami eventually at some point in the next couple of weeks. I'm just going to put a little pin on this. I've never seen such a desirable place to play, like strike out.
Yeah.
Like they just haven't. What did they do this summer besides get
it was very
Norman
obvious
Powell?
Dame wanted to go there. Free agents all the time. Bradley
Who
Beal
doesn't want to live in Miami?
Yeah.
It's everything LA is and everything it's not. And I say that in
the good parts of LA without the bad parts of LA.
It's the good parts of LA with the actual beach with water you want to get in,
yeah.
Not the Pacific, which sucks and it's cold. Like you might run into a diaper in Santa Monica. Bro, the last time I swam in the Santa Monica,
you did not see it that.
Last time I swam on the Santa Monica beach, I felt something wrap around my leg, which I thought was a jellyfish. I panicked. I looked down; it was a used diaper.
What is worse?
I'd rather have the jellyfish. I would rather got stung.
Yeah.
Than have that wrapped around my foot. So, yes, the waters in Florida, the beaches in Florida are obviously not a different level.
Yeah.
There's no income tax. There's a lifestyle in Miami that's desirable to certain people. There's multiple neighborhoods, multiple suburbs. The organization in itself is supposed to be
the voted
5-star.
best coach.
You have your coach is coaching the USA team.
Yeah.
All right. That's a big deal. The guy who runs it's Pat Riley. They have championships when you walk in to their facilities. Everything's there, guys. They got cool colorways. They're surrounded by Spanish women. The hell are we talking about? These girls come into have you ever been to a Miami Heat game and just gandered around the arena? It's a little different. All right? Okay. There's just beautiful people everywhere. What are we talking about? I'm tired of being very subtle here. We know what Miami is.
Right.
All right?
There's a reason LeBron risked his whole career to go.
He risked everything.
He left his home. He left home.
And he got so excited when he's like, not one, not two, not three. Everybody's just like, I get it. When you get down there, it does something to you. I felt the same way. I went and dominated 11 strip club one night, and I told the bartender, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to dominate one night. I'm dominating 2 nights. I'm dominating 3 nights. You're not going to get rid of me. I felt this. I feel that.
Yeah.
I understand. So that is, it's bewildering that they can't get big-time players. Now, this market this summer wasn't really there for them to, like, grab a lot.
Right.
But in the previous summers, they have not been able to grab one of these dudes.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for that to change. Because it just doesn't make sense. The East is just, it went from being the strong point, which it was a couple years ago, to where like, man, the East is really running it. Just a total flips.
Yeah.
Just a total flip. I mean, Atlanta, which is rebuilt very nicely, by the way.
Right.
We're still wondering what they're doing with Trey. But for now, it works.
But I've been on this pod a million times saying I'm a Trey guy. He's
You
never
are.
played with an all-star. Yes, and that conference finals run was a little fluky. I understand. If Ben Simmons just probably dunks it that one play, they're not in the conference final. You know what I mean?
My dad's still in Philly, and everything's still hunky dory.
But I think Trey's really good, and the Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson before he got hurt last year, Risa Shea. Now they got Porzingis in the mix. I like Nikhil. Yeah.
Nikhil's solid. They have a good
Luke
team.
Kennard, I saw. I was like,
Luke
you know what,
Kennard, they got some shooting. Yeah,
Right.
no, they've built out very nicely to the point where now you kind of keep Trey.
Yeah.
Remember before we're like, Trey's like a really good top tier point guard, and he's like on this bad team, and it's just like they're like hovering just to get in the play in. Like, can we get Trey on remember like the Spurs? Let's get him with Wemby.
Yeah.
Lob threat, all these different things. They just went and just kind of rebuilt this young core. By the way, he has not played with an All-Star. That could change in the near future.
He's
Jalen
never played
Johnson
with a stretch big like KP either.
never played a stretch big like KP. John Collins had a little jumper, not like KP.
Right.
So sure.
But Capella was still in the court usually when John Collins was running. You know what I mean? I'm talking like the floor's open now in a different way.
And you got Nikhil, Kennard. These are all capable shooters. Obviously, Kennard's there to shoot. Jalen Johnson is a all-star product. I mean, if that guy doesn't turn into an all-star, his body, his frame, his ability, his size, his speed.
Right.
He is, that'd be like a disappointment almost. He is a freak athlete.
Underrated playmaking ability.
He was cutting up last year before he got hurt.
Right.
One of those players that was really exploding. That is a guy I would be on the lookout for. The Hawks have rebuilt nice, and now you have Trey there that you could still move for multiple pieces if you need to down the line.
Yeah.
I think his value will go up even more if they have a good record. If this team is able to win some games, they're a top team in the West, or I'm sorry, in the East. Trey's going to be a big part of it. It doesn't happen without him. His value just goes high again to where you could choose, do we move him and just get a whole bunch of assets for him, some picks, some whatever, and build out this young team, or do we just continue on with Trey? I don't know.
We're talking about the growth of Trey Young, too, and I saw the stat that his assists have only gone up every single year of his career, but last year he was more Nash than Steph, kind of, sharing. He had the young pieces around him, and I thought the way he played last year was a lot different.
The question that people have with Trey, this is the. I'm just gonna be honest with you, and I don't agree with the. Listen, Pat Beverly went at him this summer. I love Pat. That's my dog. I don't believe a role player like Pat or myself, who was an NBA role player for 10 years, can critique a player like Trey on how to be a winner when you've never had to do it as the focal point.
Right.
I could critique Trey in many ways as a player, leader, this, and that. I'm not going to sit here and tell him he ain't this, and this, because you ain't never won. You ain't no winner. I've only ever been a part of the system. I wasn't the system.
But you and Pat and other guys in that role have winning intangibles.
Correct, and that's where we could have a point.
And Pat has a bunch of those, right? He's made the playoffs.
Correct,
times
but when you start talking about a guy,
what's on his plate is different.
That's my point. Right. So when you're trying to tell Trey how to eat his plate's different than yours, Pat. Is what I'm saying. All right, Pat, you were a part of the system. I was a part of the system. Trey is the system. All right, Trey's got to go in the game and have 20 plus. Trey's got to go in the game and have 10 assists plus. Trey's, when it's 99, and there's 10 seconds left, Trey's got the ball in his hands, Pat. We were in the corner, and if it was ready for us, then we shot it. We weren't the decision. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will be honest. There were times where I did have the ball in my hands. There were years with the Clippers, or even games with the Rockets, if one of those guys was hurt, but especially with my last 2 years of the Clippers, I was in a different role. I was one of the main guys on those teams. I was probably the second, third option on that Clippers team, to where on any given night, closing the game, I'd close games with Lou Will. Most of the time, me and Lou had to close games. Pat never had that. Just respectfully, I'm being honest. I understand what Pat's saying, though. Pat does add to winning. Pat's always been a me first guy. Pat has never went into the game talking about him scoring. I played with Pat, and I played against Pat. He was never a guy worried about his own numbers. He was always worried about doing the little shit to have an impact. And if anything, the only thing he was selfishly focused on was his defensive performance, which only affects the team outright. So I understand from Pat's point of view, when you see someone like Trey and have all these numbers and it doesn't equate to winning, being like, man, you don't X, Y, Z. I get that.
Yeah.
He's allowed to do that. Pat played in the NBA for one. He's definitely allowed. We have a whole bunch of non-basketball players who critique us every day on television. I turn on TV right now and I see a guy with a mini fro talking about God knows who, and he's never played a lick of ball. That happens all the time. On Pat played. He's a pro. There's a respect there. I get it. Within that, though, that'd be like me being like, you know what, man? Chris Paul just doesn't know how to. He just doesn't know how to win. He don't know how to do it. He don't have it.
Well, that's why when
it comes off crazy because like bro, come on, man.
I'll use an
that
example.
Comes off crazy, no?
I'll use an example from the pod before where you've criticized, let's say, a guy like Paul George, but first you'll always preface it with, now Paul has done this and his career's been that.
You have to word it right.
And you do it, and then you get to your
These
point.
are things he's struggling in.
Right.
And that's a perfect point. I've always said that about Paul George. I don't think he's could be the head of the snake. I don't think he could be your best player. With that being said, he's had best player talent throughout his career. Right. He's done things I've never done. I always point these things out to give and layer with respect to who he is. My opinion is just on this matter and where I think he's not able to perform.
Because you still have to analyze the game, right? That's what
it's different than the way he went at Trey. You know, Trey's just like, yo, bro, come on. I don't know. There's a balance there. We're allowed to critique anybody. Just within that, you got to be real with yourself of our plate was different than some of these guys' plates, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just call it for what it is. I ain't never had Trey Young's numbers. I've never had Trey Young's role. I never got paid what Trey Young got paid. You want to know why I never put up I didn't do what he did? Nor did Pat. Nor did anybody on a podcast right now, quite frankly, other than maybe Mello. So, like, what are we talking about? That's where I'm just like, I like to give my critique, but I got to keep it healthy within the game because it's a slippery slope. We start doing this, then everybody's able to get aimed at. And some guys, it's like, I'm not saying we can't aim at them because they're better than us, but it's like, you got to word it right because they do things that we've never done. If you've never done it before, shut up is what I'm saying. I critique it, but to a certain point and with a certain like class about it.
Delivery is everything.
Delivery is everything. All right.
Yeah.
Trey Young has been the leader of his team every year he's stepped foot in the NBA. From the minute he came into the NBA, he's the best player in his team. Not a lot of guys can say that.
Yeah.
Made multiple All-Star games, made the conference finals. His numbers are through the roof. The question that people have, I think the reason, whether Pat will admit it or not, and other people will admit it or not, people are bothered by Trey. And this is why. His numbers are through the roof. His assist numbers have gone up. Why is it why is it so many players don't like playing with him? And that's the billion-dollar question for the Hawks and a multi-million-dollar question for someone who wants to sign Trey Young. Why is a guy who's one of the league leaders in assists, his assist numbers go up? Why is it so many former players who played with him, who are on different teams, they always have a soundbite, man, I get to play now, I'm free.
Yeah.
You've heard it, okay? So I'm not taking this from, this is a known thing.
What is it because he has the ball in his hands a lot? Do people say that about James or Luka or other guys that have high usage rates?
Okay, see, that's my point. So that's what I'm saying. That's the question. A lot of guys are like, I don't want to play with him. Yeah. Why is that? That's what's bewildering. Is he not approachable off the court? Is he not a good team? I don't know these. I'm not there. I haven't heard those things. So I'm not accusing Trey. My interactions with Trey have always been very positive. I've always liked the guy, and I've always loved his game, his talent. The way he's able to dissect the game.
You've always wondered why he wasn't more on like the radar for Team USA.
I remember. I've always brought his name up. I was like, why isn't Trey on Team USA? Why isn't? I understand he doesn't defend and he doesn't do some of these things, but like the way he's able to dissect the game, the way he's able to shoot the ball.
Yeah. Do you remember the NBA Cup game last year against the Knicks where you were I remember I watched it with you and you were like, he completely manipulated the entire game.
He just controlled it.
He was in his,
As soon as the game tipped off 5 minutes within, I was like, they're going to win this game. Yeah. Trey had complete control of the game. He's one of the very few, you can say whatever you want about Trey Young. He is one of like 5 players in the NBA. And there are better players than him, but don't have this ability.
Right.
That can control a game. There's only like 5.
Well, that's like what Anthony Edwards has all the ability in the world, but maybe that's the next part of his game.
Can't control a game yet.
Yeah.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
Would you take Anthony Edwards over Trae Young? Everybody would. Can he control a game like Trae? Absolutely not. Can't do it yet. That's the next level. That's the difference between him and Shea. That's literally the only difference between him and Shea. He shoots better than Shea, by the way. Has a better three-point dribble, probably more explosive off the dribble. We know he's more explosive vertically. He's more athletic, can defend better when he wants to, handles just as good as Shea. What is it? It's all up here.
Yeah.
Shea is able to play at a pace. Shea is able to control a game. Shea is able to defer and let his other guys eat, and he'll just like pick his points, pick his spots. All these guys get to eat at the table, and Shea's still eating and leading the league in scoring. It's a marvel.
Right.
That doesn't happen. The league leader in point. I played with the league leader in scoring. A lot of us didn't eat that night. James would have 60 in the Madison Square Garden. It was fantastic for fans. We were in the locker room like, man, I had 7. And I had like a pretty little thing in the crowd. And I didn't give her nothing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Shea gets his, and everyone else kind of gets. It's fine.
Shea doesn't have.
Jalen Williams had a 40 ball in the finals, right?
Luka would go crazy, and then some guys would just be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Shea is able to do this thing, and he doesn't, like, everyone eats. It's very, that's the difference. And that's where Ant has to find himself. If Ant could get that, they wouldn't able to guard him like they did last year. But they ended up just doing a zone, like boxing one with Ant in the playoffs by game 2. And they're like, hey, yo, bro, you're going to, or get by game 3, and they're like, somebody else going to have to beat us. They couldn't score.
Yeah.
Every time Ant did a spin move, he was running into somebody. That's because that team is now he could argue, well, I don't have Jalen Williams on my team. So why don't you give me him and then see if I can cut up? I defer. I was throwing it to Nick.
But first of all, the Timberwolves have been to the conference finals 2 years in a row, right? So probably going into this year thinking we're still
they're
doing
right
this
there.
thing.
They're right there.
What they're missing probably is like, man, I just wish like it was prime Mike Conley. Like, you know what I mean? That's like what the kind of player that they're missing on that court.
That's the problem.
You know
Mike Conley,
I mean?
it's just too late for Mike. And it's nothing against Mike. Mike,
No,
you're a
sure.
legend. We love Michael Conley. I love Michael
Absolutely.
Conley as a person. What year is he going into his 18th year? Something like that. You take Michael Conley 8 years ago, like prime Memphis, they got everything they need. Again, it's just not the way the cookie crumbles. You can't do that. So I don't know where they go.
I just like a team with multiple, like Nemhard for Halliburton. We always talk about the extra
You
ball
want
handler.
guards. You want
Schroeder for the Pistons last year.
You want
extra
another
handler.
elite ball handler who can make plays, so it's not so easy to just take Ant out of it.
Right.
So that's probably the main difference between them and like why that OKC series was just not as competitive as possible.
Yeah.
But you know what, man? Like I don't know. They OKC struggled with Denver. They have 0 ball handler. I mean, they had 1. They had Jamal. They just got that big fella down there. It doesn't matter. All the rules just go out the window when you have Nikola. You just throw that ball down to the post and just figure out what
Are we ready now to have that conversation?
Denver OKC. Denver OKC.
Obviously, most people have them 2 at the top of the West next year. They went to a game 7.
Assuming all injuries or no injuries.
They went to a game 7 last year where Denver wasn't as good as they're going to be this year, right? Weren't deep. And Aaron Gordon could barely walk in game 7, right? So
and even Michael was having. Remember, Michael could barely lift his arm.
Yeah.
Remember, Michael was like shooting and was barely hitting rims. Like you could see, he could barely lift his right arm. Like he had issues. That whole team, their main core, Jamal was still not quite his best self.
So if you look at it in that angle and you see they added, they traded for Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway Jr., they got Bruce Brown back, all these guys.
I'm seeing
Valanciunas. So you're thinking that
Jamal and Rico Hines. I mean,
right, Jamal looks healthy and good.
Everybody looks pretty good right now.
But then you also think, well, OKC's won a title now. That was their only thing probably holding them back before.
Was experience.
Now they have it. So now they're I don't know what their weakness is. You know what I mean?
Their weakness now will be trying to run it back. I've never won, so I'm not going from experience. But everything I've read, everything I've seen, everything I've heard. This will be a new chapter for them to experience because every game now they play this year is going to be a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You won the title last year. You also have the MVP. You have the guy right now in the NBA on your team, Shea.
Right before we started recording, I looked on Instagram. He's the cover of GQ.
What
a summer.
He's the guy. Oh, yeah.
What a summer.
Fantastic summer.
Yeah.
Biggest contract in NBA history. Finals MVP, conference finals MVP. They don't distinguish for him. They give it to him. Yeah. They did it right, NBA. All right. No, they didn't Tatum him.
Jalen Williams, though, did have a couple of games where people were talking.
They did, but everyone knew where it was going.
Yeah.
And they knew they would never do that. After what happened the year before, we can't let that happen again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Tatum's just got to take that to his grave. It's you know what, and it's happened with other players before. We saw it plague Steph.
It took a while for Steph to get
plagued
his,
Steph
yeah.
for a long. Steph had to wait for years and years, and then go win one again by himself. To where he's like, this is mine. Take this one away from me.
Right.
We couldn't. We're like, there you go.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous because the other years he won, Kevin was the best player in the team. That conversation can last for hours.
Yeah.
Was he the best? He was the best. Why is Steph ranked higher? Remember we had that whole thing.
Yeah.
Insane. But yeah, so. That they did it right, obviously. Shea won, but they have everything. And when they go to play game 2, game 3, game 1, game 8 of the season, any team, every team, it's a big game for them. And what really matters when it really shows up is 40, 50 games into the season. And the bad teams have already lost their season.
Yeah.
But that game they'll get up. Those are the ones that get you. You'll be number 1 in the West. You're at the back end of an East Coast trip for OKC. They're in Charlotte. Charlotte's going towards the lottery. Nothing to play for. They've lost 8 in a row. But that game they're going to try to win. That game is the one that is a boost morale just for the franchise. We're close. We're having a bad year because we're restarting, but we show what we're capable of. We could beat these. That's what those games are for. Their Super Bowl. It's their playoff win. That's what's tough. Every game OKC is going to be that with every team you play. They've never done that before. So that's going to be a new challenge, new experience for them. And then, yeah, listen, they've gained experience, but okay, Denver's already got it. So if they meet in a game 6, all that shit's out the window.
Yeah.
Like, Nicola's got every experience you could possibly have in basketball.
And this is his best chance to win another title. Maybe, I mean, this
is Nicola's best chance to win a title since the year they've won it.
Right.
This is the best team he's had. They went and got Bruce back, who's literally just been a golden nugget finder. He didn't play for the Nuggets, but he looks like he's been chipping at nuggets in the field. He's been a Cowboy for the past 3 years, hasn't played a lick of ball. He should be fresh as hell. He fits perfectly in that system. The way he's able to cut and move without the ball, he's one of the best at that in the league. Perfect for Nicola. You added Tim Hardaway Jr., sniper. They got him for the low out of Detroit. Big signing for him. Cam Johnson, a younger, more capable version of Michael Porter Jr. You get Aaron Gordon healthy back. You got Jamal healthy. You got Nicole healthy. They kept Peyton Watson, and you kept Christian Braun, who had a lot of bright spots in the playoffs last year, a lot of big games. They're loaded.
Yeah.
They're loaded. The only thing they could use, if I'm being nitpicky, I would like a backup point guard that's serviceable. Like, you know how the Orlando just went and grabbed Tyus Jones? That would have been perfect for Denver.
Right.
They need that.
Who is it, Julian Strother? I'm trying to think.
That's the point.
So Jokic is top 3 in assists every year.
I know that it's just nice to, when Jamal's out, you just got another guy. When Jamal and Nicole are out, you got a guy that you're just let's keep this thing solid because, they're always going to keep one of those guys in the game, like Aaron or Jamal. Someone's always going to be in the game. You just need another guy to just keep that going. Yeah. That's what they try to have Reggie, but Reggie wants to score. So, you know what I'm saying? They need to get one of those just...
One thing also is if Denver does win the title this year, it does feel like, okay, this makes sense. Jokic has been the best player in the NBA this long. It makes sense that he would have 2, more than the other guys in this era. So that makes sense. But who would you, if you had to close your eyes right now and pick, who wins the West? Who are you going with?
I'm going OKC, man. They're so deep. They're 10 deep, man. They defend. That's what it is, too, bro. We know they could score. They have the best scorer in basketball on their team. They fucking slide their feet. All of them.
Bro, remember when Jokic has it on the elbow? There's 3 guys
the beehive
swiping.
He was like...
The players, it's really bad on offense when everyone's going backwards, going away from the hoop.
That's where the challenge is now. Is now you swarm them. It's Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
It's Tim Hardaway Jr. You got Bruce Brown cutting. You got Jamal Murray in the corner. You got Aaron Gordon in the dunker. It's a little different of a team now.
Yeah.
It's not, and I love Peyton Watson and I love Christian Braun. They're not sharpshooters. They're great slashers, improved shooters, but they're not dead-eye knockdowns. These other guys I just named are knockdowns, And for what Bruce Brown might lack as a knockdown, he makes up in being one of the best cutting guards in all of basketball. So that is a different team, though.
Yeah.
Can it beat OKC? I don't know. I do think those are the 2 best teams in the West by far. I think with the Fred VanVleet injury, it puts Houston a little notch back. It's just my opinion. That's a big deal. You know what I mean?
Right.
what Reed Shepherd can do. We touched on it earlier. This could be a huge opportunity for him.
Yeah.
All right, you didn't play a lot. Well, guess what? Our starting point guard just went down before we got Kevin Durant in a team where we have title hopes. I mean, my God.
Hey, if you throw him out there now in 8 months when the playoffs roll around, he's going to be a different guy.
He'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
But that's a best point of the pod is what you just said. You got to play him now. If we're going to roll with him, we got to get him going. You got to let him have these bad games. He needs to have this. He didn't get it last year. All right. He needs it now because now you guys have title hopes. All right. You don't have time to be like, oh, we'll get it next year. Kevin Durant's 30-something and climbing. You have a great roster. Finney Smith was added. Clint Capella was added. Sangoon. We obviously know the twin.
Tari Eason's going to be a
Tari
six-man.
Eason.
They're already pushing him for 6 man of the year early.
They have a whole bunch of scoring and talent there.
Yeah.
All right. That ball is moving. So you got Ime at the coach. He's not coaching to lose. So like, it's plug and play. Reed Shepherd wasn't a top 10, top 5. He was top 3 pick in the draft, guys, and he didn't play very little minutes.
The rookie of the year got drafted 4th after him.
The rookie of the year was drafted after him, guys.
Yeah.
It's time for him to play, especially with Fred down for the foreseeable future. Let's throw him in there now. Let him get his early mistakes in. Like you said, by the playoff time, now we got a professional at Reed Shepherd.
Right. At the end of a rookie year, you're not really a rookie, right?
Nah, bro. You play 70-something games on that team, coached by Ime, next to Kevin and all these pros. He's going to be a thoroughbred point guard at that point in time. Now, he's either going to be really good or you're not. I don't know I don't know how good he is. We'll see. But one way or the other, we'll find out.
Right.
Let's throw him in the game.
Did we mention Jabari Smith?
I saw him do a left-handed hook over Kevin Durant in practice the other day. I was like, what the hell was that? He's definitely talented as shit. You know what I mean? He reminds me of Mark Price, the way he's able to slice and dice, the jumper. It's there. We'll see.
Yeah. In the East, you've mentioned Cleveland and New York kind of being your 2 top teams.
Let's go ahead and get to it.
I knew you have the Magic third. I already know. Listen, off the air, we've talked about this a million times.
Yeah, no.
But who do you have winning the East then?
If I had to pick a team that I have favored over the rest of the Eastern Conference, I'm going with the Cavs.
It's a safe pick, right? Like they won 60 games last year. The East got weaker. They're pretty much the same team. Garland's going to miss time. But we both have talked about Evan Mobley being it's pretty much he's the X factor.
I do believe he has to be option 1B. In previous years, it's been Garland. And I think Garland has to be a vital piece for that team still moving forward when he gets back. I think Evan Mobley has MVP-type caliber talent. We've said this for years. Last year, he tapped into it, and we're like, there it is. You know what I mean? Now it's like, what level can he get to? When we talk about the future tomorrow, you alluded earlier. It's Paolo, Cade, and people are putting Evan in that group. All right? When we talk about, adding to that list of superstars, when you talk about superstars, Luka, Shea, and I'm going young, so I'm excluding Nikola. All right? Luka, Shea, Ant, Tatum. It's about it.
Wemby. But people, it's just like Wemby's not in the Cade, Mobley, he's in the Paolo conversation only because those guys are putting up these big numbers and putting teams up. I think Wemby's more, he does have the numbers. His is more like he's such a freak that people just have him as like his own
we have him in there already just because
he's like an alien.
Yeah, we're just like, he's in there.
He's in there. He's an alien.
He's like default in there. Yeah. Everybody else has to like earn it. But nah, that's facts. And Cade, we saw that jump last year in the playoffs versus the Knicks. We're like, yo, this dude is probably the baddest guard in the league right now. Yeah, he's like entering that.
He changed everyone's mind the most last year with his play.
Yes.
Before that year, we thought of him as
we knew he was good.
Yeah.
I knew he was good. I know he's that damn good.
Right.
I knew he was talented. I was behind on that. I wasn't aware that Cade had that type of capability, and I missed one. We talked about a guy who can control the game. He did that. He made that jump last year. And I'm not saying he's better than Ant. I'm saying he made a jump that, like, I need to see Ant make. He went from being a guy who could just get numbers to, like, Cade runs the show. He's, like, controls the game now.
Right.
I saw it in the playoffs.
So you need every lead guard. There's no such thing anymore as, like, a guy that could just be a good shooting guard.
No,
you need to be able to do it all.
No, the days of, like, Kobe Bryant, Michael, where we're like, hey, you're a post shooting guard, fade away, just go score, play some defense, cool dunks. That genre is gone.
Right.
Now, as a guard, honestly, I think guys like James Harden, Ginobili, all these shooting guards who had the ball, these are guys, especially like a guy like James, can change the game. Now, a 2-guard, if you're the best player in the team, like you got to be able to control the game, bro.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's just not. Hell, we'd like 2 of you. Pacers just like threw Halliburton out there with Nembhard. Like, yo, both of you do it. Like, it's just like they need it. Jalen Williams is like a small forward, but like he brings the ball up a lot of times. Like, runs an offense. He's not a traditional. He's not mellow. You just throw the ball in the post and he's like got the ball up high and he's going to score.
Right.
Like, it's just a different type of basketball play now.
Yeah.
I need Ant to be able to come down and not always look like he's trying to score. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just different. Cade just has this way about him. I didn't know if he's a small forward, point guard, shooting guard. We didn't know what the to call him. By the end of the year, we're like, he's a point guard. Like, that's because like that jump just happened last year. I need Ant to make that same type of jump. All right. That is what Cade's done. And he has put himself in this cloth now where like he's the next guy in this conversation of superstars to join that young list. We talk about Tatum, Ant, all these guys. Cade's in that motherfucker. Throw Paolo in there as well. Boston couldn't do nothing with him last year. He just didn't have a team built to compete against him. All of his main players are out. And listen, I love Orlando. Their roster just wasn't set to compete against, at that time, what Boston still had. Him, though, Paolo was giving them boys the blues. They could not go. He had like 30 every game. He was destroying them. He's too big. Like, they try to put Jaylen Brown on him. He's just too big. Then they put Porzingis too slow. You can't guard him. He is a matchup nightmare. He is too big for wings. He is too quick and agile for big men. You can't guard him. So he's on the list. This third guy is Evan Mobley. When we watch you, we see flashes of KG. I see flashes of Tim Duncan. I see these things. There's also an awkwardness to his game. I'm not comparing him as a player, but the way this guy used to score, and he was kind of like off-putting, like Antoine Jameson had this way, like it was awkward almost. He's like this, I don't know what he is. He's talented. He's a shot blocker.
And he put himself in that mix. It was like it was him and Wemby. Remember
that All-Star break? He's like, man, me and Wemby gonna be battling it for MVP for years. Everybody's like, pardon?
And that picture during the offseason, he came back looking jacked. What was that?
Then he comes, now he's back and doesn't even look the same. I'm like, whoa. Now everybody's like, all right, this dude he's the real deal.
Yeah.
So those are our next 3 guys to get into that. When we talk about the new superstars of tomorrow, everybody's worried about what's going to happen when Steph and LeBron, whenever. We got scared the other day. We didn't bring up the Hennessy ad. Is it worth it? KD and them got to retire. Who's our next? Well, Tatum, obviously, barring no injury. We'll see. He'll be back fine. The way he looks right now, he might come back more athletic. Is what happening right now, by the way? Are we entering the time? Have we figured out the Achilles thing? Is that what's happening?
I mean, do you
remember the ACL was like catastrophic, and now guys are like, it's unfortunate. They'll be back in 6-7 months.
Come back with a higher vertical lift.
Yeah, is this what's going on? Because I'm seeing like Tatum and some of these other guys just pop on back on the court now, and everybody's like, what's going on here?
First of all,
have we figured it out?
Optimistically, I would love that to be the case, and we saw it with KD. It was been the only guy that came back from Achilles.
Yes,
was
but
pretty much the same.
we gave him a pat. I think sometimes, God, everyone uses always his weight against, everyone's like, oh, he's light. Like, bro, no, he might just be a freak athlete as well. I mean, people are always trying to disbar KD in any way they can. It's so funny. But you're right. He made it look so easy. Everyone's like, oh, Achilles isn't that bad. No, it is. It's still the death of most stars.
Right.
But it's happened in such frequency. People are like, what's going on? So if it's happening more often, we should be figuring out how to heal from it better.
Yeah. Tatum dunking this early was alarming.
I didn't like seeing it, though. When he landed,
he hung on the rim a little bit to make sure the landing was soft.
When he landed, I was like, no. just stay solid, man. Yeah. You're too important to the game.
Yeah.
Like, the Boston needs their star. It's just like, you need him good. You need him back. God, I hated when he got hurt. But
can you give me a couple of minutes before we close out, by the way, on some Cooper Flag? I feel like, because I think you're naming some guys, and I feel like he's going to be in that mix in a couple of years. But I saw some of his preseason highlights. Look smooth. He's going to be,
he had a couple pulls.
A little behind the back, mid-range.
That looked really nice. He even had one where he did a sweep through around the 3. It shot like a leaning.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, his range is getting farther. That was always
18 years old.
That was always my question: is can he get the ball there from 3 off the dribble? Can he do a hang dribble 3? I know he's got the midi. I know he's developing the midi. Can he stretch that out 3 or 4 feet behind to where he's pulling up behind the line. Now he's 3-level scorer.
Right.
I ain't got none with him. It's hard. It's easier to guard someone when you can put some, 2 feet of cushion. I dare you to shoot it. Are you gonna come to me? And then I'm gonna come to me. Then I can feel you right here in the post. Let's go.
Right.
It's hard when you gotta like have a hand up. Now you're on your tiptoes, bro. Like that's a whole different thing to guard. The hardest reason why Steph gets by it. Steph is not faster than me, stronger than me. He's not quicker than me. He don't have in the realm of a first step that Austin Rivers has. I'm third person right now. None of these things. Couldn't guard him. You want to know why? Fucking shoot so well that if he even got the ball up, you had to like jump at it.
Right. Because your hand's not up and he shoots you. You're like, why is your hand up on the best shooter of all time?
I always guard it with one hand up. I've never guarded someone with 2 hands. I'm up there like, look like I'm cleaning windows. It wasn't even a natural state of defense. I'm like, I hated guarding him.
You guard him different than you guard anybody else.
I don't guard other people like him. Yeah. So, when you can shoot, you got to – if Cooper can get – again, he don't need to be Steph. No one's ever going to be that. But if he can get a consistent, decent jumper from that 3 ball, not just catch and shoot, but he starts – getting a little shimmy, a little hang dribble with. Oh my God! And I saw some flashes the other night versus Charlotte, where I'm like, okay, he's gonna be special. The only reason I didn't put him on this list yet, he hasn't played yet. These are all guys that took jumps. Cade was good as year 1, then where he's at now, it's like whoa. Evan Mobley was really good, then he like slumped on, and now he's like whoa. Paolo's just been on a consistent just ladder up. His team just always hasn't been great, so people like just sleep on him. They have 2 nationally television, but they're on TV like 4 times this year, guys.
Yeah.
So like people just sleep on the Magic. They're a sleeping giant, bro. By the way, their whole team is back healthy. They added Desmond Bane, who's a top tier shooting guard that just no one talks about. Everybody talks about like key acquisitions this summer. No one talks about Desmond Bane. No one talks about Tyus Jones being like a really solid point guard. He also didn't work out in Phoenix. Everybody's like blaming Brad. That's why I give Brad slack. Brad didn't work out there either. This guy to that guy. I have 5 players that I've played with who played there who I know are good to just look terrible in Phoenix. So that's why I'm like, it can't be them.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is. I'm not placing blame on anybody, but something ain't right over there, or wasn't right.
Well, it was right 4 years ago when they went to the finals.
We had Chris, and then DeAndre Ayton. They had like a complete system. That was a team where they could be like, Devin, go be a 2 guard.
Yeah. That
was like that prototypical point guard, shooting guard. Mikel's the defender, like Pippen next to Jordan. He'd guard the
Cam Johnson stretch 4.
Stretch 4. They had the whole team.
Right.
Complete, like, prototypical, well-run. Yeah, thing was
the future of the NBA is whoever gets the rebound is just going to bring it up.
Bring it up.
Yeah.
It's like, pretty soon there'll be no point guard. It's just be like 5 guys.
Right. But we love a point guard for the second unit, though, to kind of make sure everyone.
You need someone. Yeah. That's why Tyus Jones is, especially since he's not going to start. They're going to start Suggs at point.
Yeah.
All right, you have to. You have Suggs at point because you have Mo, who likes the ball in his hands. You have Paolo, who likes the ball in his hands. And then you got Desmond Bane, Wendell to round it out. They need somebody when it gets a little frazzled, a little up and down, especially with Suggs at the point. He's a battering ram.
I need to ask you. That's going to be my next question. For a guy like Suggs, and he gets hurt because of the way he plays, but you can't also tell him not to play that way because that's what he does. You don't want to take that fire from him. What's the advice there? Because it's like we need you in the game.
If I'm having a conversation with Suggs, I'm just simply saying, hey, listen, we love your energy. We love how you maximize yourself on the court. You give it your all. Let's stay healthy, though. All right? I don't know how. I can't tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
You're your own player. You know your own body. You know there are decisions that you make. The ball's going out of bounds. Do you need to jump in head first to go say? I don't know.
Maybe not in November.
I don't know. Exactly. It's like I don't. But we need you in the court.
Right.
You're vital to our team. You're our best perimeter defender.
Proven that he's been like a very.
When he doesn't play, they're not as good.
Yeah.
It's very clear. His value is shown when he doesn't play.
Right.
When Suggs doesn't play and you go watch the Magic and their spirits is not the same, you're just like, this is what he brings to it. You see it. It's like prime Marcus Smart, like when he wouldn't play for Boston, you'd be like, they're not as tough as they usually are.
Right.
That's a big deal.
Have you seen on the side note, have you seen there's videos of like Suns training camp and Dylan Brooks has brought like a whole new, very contagious attitude over there. He's like talking shit to everyone, diving on the floor. I'm like, some of these guys you can't, and like Patrick Beverly earlier, you can't really judge them off their stats. Like they just bring something completely different.
They bring a different type of energy to the team and value. There's no doubt about it.
If they're diving on the floor, it kind of makes you feel like you need to probably
you end up wanting to play just as hard. Yeah. So he's valuable. Mo has a little bit of that as well.
Yeah.
But it's not to the level of Suggs, obviously. So yeah, they're primed in position to compete. They're definitely a sleeping team. And again, they have that guy, Paulo, who we put in that category as a young starter.
You know, one guy that we didn't name in that group that probably wants to be in that group, but his role just isn't the same is Chet Holmgren. Like, I bet you if he was hearing this, he would say, well, I'm like those guys, but I'm on his team where I have to play my role to win a championship.
Well, Jalen Williams could probably say the same thing.
Yeah.
Jalen Williams, like, how the hell?
That's a great point.
How am I not in that conversation?
That's the second best player in the
second best player in the
championship.
team just went to the finals. Like 40 in the finals.
So let's throw them two in there. Let's just toss them in.
We could throw Chet and Jalen in there too. Then.
Yeah.
They'll probably both be on Team USA.
Yeah.
So yeah, sure. Let's put them on there as well.
Right.
But again, that's an elite list of this new group, and then there's a couple guys we'll probably put that'll change.
Of course, it's gonna change
For the people
like
listening.
if Dylan Harper just kills, they're gonna be like, Austin, where's the
he
Dylan
hasn't
Harper?
played a
one?"
game yet.
Yeah.
Yes, Cooper Flag will probably be on this list, guys.
Right.
So we'll see. I don't know.
Do you have, before we wrap, do you have a kind of a crazy hot take prediction, anything? Whether it's going to be who wins MVP or a team that's going to go deep in the playoffs? Give me a spicy take.
Spicy take for this year. Man, it's just like such a
For example, like mine would probably be, I don't know how spicy this is. I think because their team will be probably top 5 in the East, and I think he does so much. Like Cade Cunningham it'll probably be SGA, Jokic, and maybe like Cade for MVP talk.
Oh, you have Cade and MVP talk.
Well, I just think it's going to be SGA, Jokic, right? They're going to have those stats. They're going to be winning. And that spot, I'm thinking like, obviously I think of guys like Paolo and those other guys, but like Cade, his stats are going to be like those guys. And I feel like we're obviously ignoring skinny Luka. That's been a big talk on offseason that we haven't mentioned.
So, yeah, Luka, possibly.
By the way, you saw him, all summer talking about him being skinny, and then he was on Hot Onesie and chicken wings. It's like, let's keep it skinny.
Well, what we haven't talked even, what's crazy is like, where are the Warriors at in this? Like, is that a spicy take would be the Warriors make the playoffs? Are they competing?
And if you're the Warriors, you're like, well, Steph got hurt. We won game 1 against the Timberwolves. We were going to be in the conference finals. Like, we're in that mix. But Jimmy Butler got onto this team. We won.
You got the cloud of Kuminga away, at least for now. You signed up for 2 years, so now you can move him whenever you want to if you need to. All right? That there still is a problem there.
Yeah.
Now it's even more of a problem, actually, in some lights. You didn't play him last year. He was making $2 million a year.
Yeah.
Because Kerr doesn't want to play him. So what now? You're going to not play a guy who makes $25 million a year?
Right.
I don't know, guys. It's going to be a problem. Because here's the deal. You got a $24 million player who's not finishing games. And for people are like, well, how do you know he's not finishing games? How could he possibly?
Well, if you have Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green on the court, you can't have another
You can't have another shooter on the floor. Thank you, Pausha. Can't happen. Can't finish with all 3 of them. Not with Steph on the floor. Not with that team.
Right.
So somebody's not playing. Draymond is going to be in the end of the game. We know that.
Yeah.
All right.
Al Horford will be when playoff time comes around. He'll be the starting
finishing games as well.
Yeah.
You can have Al, Dre, Jimmy, Steph, whoever's playing better. That could be anybody. It's a rotating chair. Is going to be that 5th person.
Right.
It ain't going to be Kuminga. And I say that because he's not a dead eye shooter, and the way he scores and plays doesn't. Right. That's a problem. He makes $25 million. So this boy want to play. He's been sitting on ice for 3 years. That's why he don't want to be there now. That's why this thing has been stretched out for this long. Now they signed him. They had, he was restricted. There's only so much he could do. So now he's stuck there for at least 2 more years. They have team option, mind you. He wants to play and wants to be featured. They don't want to play and feature him. They paid him to keep him. The owner likes him. His value's there. I don't know what that's a cloud kind of actually. Now that we put it out there, it's still there.
You started off this rant by saying their cloud. It's like, hey, the Kuminga cloud's gone.
Kuminga cloud's gone.
Then you brew that cloud out.
I'm like going over it again, and I'm like, no, it's still there. It's actually now it's a little bit darker with more rain. Yeah, I don't know if I have a hot take. I already said I have the Thunder winning it all again. Coming out of the East.
Man, you know who we haven't mentioned once at all?
The Knicks.
Well, I think the Knicks are what we know what the kind of the Knicks are.
Same team. Yeah, Clarkson.
What about Philly?
I gotta see something before I believe in it. I'm not wasting any more airtime on that.
It's kind of like me and the Pelicans. Every year I look at the Pelicans like
I don't
training camp, and I'm like, look at all these talented guys.
I don't want to talk about them.
Yeah.
I've talked about them for 3 years straight, and I got to see something. And then we'll start talking about them again.
Yeah.
I'm sure they like it this way.
Yeah.
Actually,
this is the least amount of pressure. I'm not pressure, but expectation.
Please, don't talk about us.
Yeah.
They probably like it. So we'll grant them that.
Yeah.
I'll start talking about y'all when I see something. I'm looking at Paul George 1's highlights. I'm just like, this guy is so f***ing gifted. He is so nasty at basketball. It annoys me that he's not able to just get it done on the court on a level that he should. I was good. I was never that good. That dude is ridiculous. He has all the skills I have, but he's 6'8". What a pure jumper. Good God.
Yeah. And things are looking, obviously, we love VJ Edgecombe, bright spot of the summer.
VJ is a stud.
Tyrese Maxey's always been. He just keeps getting better and better.
McCain?
Yeah.
Back.
I mean,
he had a little minor injury, but he's back.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey is another guy who, like, is he going to continue to climb the ladder? Like, what level is he at?
Can he manipulate a game?
Yeah, can he?
He's never had to. You've had Joel Embiid down there. You just dump it down.
He's always had guys that have kind of enabled him.
Right.
You know, can he get to that level? Where's Joel at? He looked healthy in practice a couple of days ago. Show some clips of him doing some stuff.
Yeah.
Their roster is ridiculous. Their roster is fantastic.
Yeah.
They have too many guards, and they have the second best center in the NBA. And their wings are pretty good. They have Oubre, VJ Edgecombe, Paul George as the wings. Their point guards are Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, and then they even have the Grimes, who could score the shit out the ball, be a tweener guard. Then they have Joel Embiid. They got mad talent.
Right.
So on paper, they look fantastic. So that's what we'll leave it at. We'll leave it at that for now. Let's see what is... Because I thought Doc was the problem. I'm bringing it back.
Don't do it. Don't make it personal.
Turns out he wasn't.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what goes on there. But that wraps it, man. We are so excited to be back. It seems like we don't have enough time. We could break down every team.
I'm sure we forgot some teams.
And we'll bring them back up later in the week. You know, we'll keep kind of punching this out until the season starts. For now, all we have is preseason clips. All we have is guesses. All we have is our intuition of what we feel is going to happen. But we don't know. And this season, with the changes that have happened, it's really exciting to see like who can jump in the mix. The East and the West doing a total flip of power. The West is now loaded. Clippers are good. Dallas is still good, even with Kyrie out. D'Lo's there. He's in a position now. How does he take advantage of this opportunity, considering kind of what's not gone his way the past couple of years? Kyrie's not going to be available. He's another guy already working out with the ACL. So like, it seems like all this stuff's going around, but it's up in the air. And there's a talent in the West now that has not been there in the past. It's going to make a repeat for OKC much harder than in previous years where they just waltzed through the West. That is no longer the case anymore.
And you know what? We're wrapping right now. This has pretty much been a Laker-free pod. I don't know how many podcasts you're going to find.
It's been fantastic. It's been fantastic. I can only imagine if I was working for a certain network, how much Laker talk would we be talking about today?
Right.
I don't miss that.
They'll give us something to talk about.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, the Henny ad was just the most comical thing I think I've ever seen.
The tough part about that ad was that day Allen Iverson announced he was 6 months sober. I was like, this we got too much happening.
And then LeBron's got the Henny ad. I'll wrap up with this, just with the LeBron thing. I'm 50-50 on it.
Yeah.
Jordan and Kobe were the complete opposite. So it's like people are mad that he's not the same way. LeBron likes being in front of the camera. LeBron loves attention. And he's always been that way, and he's always going to be that way. He's also been great for the game because of it. I say that on both sides. I understand what people say about LeBron. I get it. It annoys me too. But then we can't have it both ways, guys. We can't be like, please keep playing LeBron. Don't retire. You are the game. You're the best ambassador for the game we've ever had. And then be like, corny.
Right.
And then like, oh, the decision, he did that again. Bro, it was, look how much attention it got. That ad was very successful. It did exactly what they...
From a business standpoint, you could probably respect that part.
From a business standpoint, it worked. So it's like... So now is it... You know what I'm saying, though? It's like I'm 50-50 on both sides of that. I'm not here to call LeBron James corny. I don't know him well enough to do that. I don't do that. I don't do that stuff. I don't know him well enough. I ain't calling that man nothing. No names personally. We don't do that here. What I will say is his action... We could go off his actions. The act of that post, the Henny ad, the decision, the wording of it... could be triggering to a lot of people. I do think it was tacky and corny in some regards, and there's just like so much attention for a guy who doesn't need any more of it. On the other side, I do understand it was a brilliant ad. And he's also like, it's not his fault that everybody like takes everything he says so damn seriously.
Right.
He can't put a New York towel over his head about people being like, he's coming to Knicks. He said a decision ad clearly like he was being lied about. Like, what do you guys think I'm... He's like, I already told y'all 2 weeks ago, to his defense. He's like, I told y'all on media day. I wasn't retiring anything in the next year or so. So what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
well, imagine if someone, was talking to him about the Henny ad and they were like, oh, by the way, people might think you're this or that or corny or lame for it. I bet you was like, I don't care what people.
I don't give a, yeah.
People are gonna, millions of people are gonna tweet about me every day. Probably something negative.
I do feel with LeBron, there's this polarizing thing to where you love him or you hate him at this point. He's so polarizing. It's not because of his own doing. It's just because of his own doing, but it's because of his greatness. It's just what happens. You get to this point, like people either love or hate you because they're so sick of you. It's not his fault.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Was it kind of corny in some? Sure. Does he like attention? Sure. Does he not ask for a lot of it a lot of times? Yeah. A lot of times guys, you give it to him. He doesn't ask for it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, guys. He is the most popular. He had an ad Nike did. It was a really cool commercial where like it was like the king thing. And everybody's like, Christ is king. Christ is the king. How dare you not? Bro, LeBron wasn't trying to say that Jesus isn't king. He was just, y'all call him King James every day.
Right.
So now when he says it to himself, do you understand what I'm saying? There's nothing he can do right or wrong. They're always going to say he's right or wrong, no matter what he does.
Right.
That's what part of me is like, am I a part of this mix? Am I judging him too hard for this little ad? It's an ad. Come on. You know what I'm saying? And it worked. So I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it. But anyways, man, yeah, that's the most Laker talk we'll have for today.
Just when I said it was a Laker-free pod.
Well, it was LeBron and Henny and Luke and Wings. It's not like today we're like diving into the Lakers depth chart. So we kept it clean enough. But we'll be back next week, and we're excited to get this thing going, man. Off Guard here on NBC, as lit as can be. Me and Pausha will be back. You guys have a safe week, and everybody be easy.